Mizuragi's stern expression remains unchanged, but you sense not a lot of moral fiber on this one here to me. The man is still not. Looks like someone man down. You could swear it's more of an instinct than an actual.
Yes, you could probably make the jump. You look like you've done some.
The wind is aggressive up here. The lieutenant looks at the enormous crane. The look in his eyes is a mix of the.
Yes, that's one way of. But I digress. We were focusing on your cloak here.
Nope. No.
Sure. Just.
Fuck, does Kuno care? Yeah, did you fucking there? Course you Kuno.
That's all there is to it then. Don't be a pansy. Just jump.
Is it? You got pretty fucked. Don't sweat.
He's saying you climbed up there.
Oh, that? Kuno decapitate. Yeah, Kuno plays on Snuff Radio. That's where Kuno.
Bet you'd like to ride the light.
It's a vitamin pig.
You could use some.
Yeah, it.
Oh, don't teach him, Kuno. He's gonna use it.
You're not getting.
Fuck you, pig. Don't do mag. You're gonna.
Good call, pig. The fuck do you. Good call. Kuno doesn't.
Welcome to Revachol.
Don't you welcome to Revachol. I risk.
The lieutenant's impassive mask has been replaced with intensity.
It's men like you who keep Revachol divided, making it that much. Oh, I know it, but you.
Silence. Your partner needs backup. Now's your moment to shine.
Whatever you say.
You could ask him to show you the soles of his boots. He definitely looks...
God damn. Thanks for that, but no, it's not mine. It's not.
Change the topic. The way he says it makes it almost sound like a threat.
People who've studied these things say that you...
If this guy's all the Occidentals have, well, let's just say he's not exactly ripped.
So, lately we Occidentals have experienced an unfortunate downturn when members of the superior race... The problem? The damn kips are showing a real good game lately. Same with the mosquitoes. And the other introduced species too. It's what the kips of Boogie Street are going for. Right under... It's true. Also, you need to realize the dangers of mixing races. Go right ahead.
Lieutenant Kitsura, not a lot of... What happened?
Oh, not much anymore. I'm here to pick up some cargo. Apples. Yeah.
He's given you the runaround.
No,
He's got a smoke right there, in his fucking hand.
it's my last one. Sorry, all done. But, what? Sorry I couldn't be... Been in my...
On the bottom, the wind howls over the Bay of Rivershaw, a cascade of cold air flowing through the city streets. Those same streets have left their share of scuff marks on...
It's Revachol. For one's in...
It doesn't look like the lieutenant cares. He just makes...
No, it's not like that.
The tear machine stands in the...
Oh, that's the tear machine. It's... You need a... Feel free to use it.
A small cabin...
Just ask me if you need anything from Saint Baptiste. We don't... Saint Baptiste Pharmacy. I don't really know what hypnogamma is. I guess it makes you feel less shit.
Nosafed heals.
You see several packaged raincoats fill a low shelf. A colorful there, in that dark green glass. Good thing.
I'm obliged to inform...
Don't ask. Don't look. Don't do anything here.
Welcome to Frit. Feel free... I don't know. I think they think that the extra... Okay. I'm not a warehouse. I don't know. Maybe. I don't really care what Frit does.
She scrunches up her face into an...
Fine. Frit doesn't have a warehouse. I don't really know anything. I mean, I know it's not real. No. I didn't know him at all. I don't know.
No need to.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Your body don't say anything.
Are you with me? It must be frightening to... What is this?
Merely stand...
Stop it. Is this blood?
Jean-Luc, his body is betraying his degeneracy pretty hard. Maybe you can ask him to leave.
You have succumbed to... You reek of it. An invisible sword of Al-Ghul emerges from your throat. You cannot see it, but yes, Al-Ghul is an ancient Ilmaran poison. A parasitic correct my small skull servant. No, you don't.
Show him the ham still got it.
Jerky, you gave the... You dominate, you will be...
It is, babe.
There is a button right. This man is not budging. Let's hope his superiors inside are more cooperative.
In, bring your... You all.
This is your jump. No, don't rip into anyone. You're sensitive.
No.
There must be some friction.
Mr. Clay. Also, to serve, of course, above all, rampant multinational finance still reigning large. I am not surprised you enjoy it so much. This has happened. The South, we are the... I am a descendant. No.
He would be appreciative if you did not further chase this line of...
I'm from... You have heard enough about our phylogenetic secret.
He does not so much as glance at the object.
Stop showing me your...
Does he strike you as the kind of man who puts monks into trash? True. That is a noble cranium. But you got a hard noggin.
You exhibit forward project. It is impossible. This leads your racial...
He's right there. It's almost impossible to get it on unless you're...
I am the hard... Now leave me be.
I think this racist is better than the last. They're always...
Race is reality.
Just like that. The man is reeling. All you hear is a small gurgling sound. He's open. Rip, don't wait. You've only got that fighting pose. Watch out. He's... The man lands with a dull thump. Like a broken device, you slam your fist on the button. The man...
Looks like...
Avoid...
No one.
The man... On second glance, someone has forgotten to prop...
It's unfortunate for the Union to...
Let's see what's inside, he thinks. The drawer opens smoothly. Inside, hundreds of documents containing logistical data. Two kinds of transactions stand out. Materials, and the same materials being handed over to companies inside Revachol, Couron, Coal City. It's hard to make sense of this thicket of company names, dates, quantities, and percentages. You try to focus, but the lines are getting blurry. Whatever's hidden here is hidden well. Concentration isn't enough. Only a trained accountant with a background in logistics would be able to really make sense of it. However, there is, it appears to be, a to-do list written in large, uneven capital. Remember, Leo, Everard's shoes, special whirling borscht, water Everard's plants. All items on the list have been crossed out, and the note itself is crumpled.
Everard Clare, probably. The head of the Debarders Union. One of his aides must have left it. Nothing incriminating here.
What is so special about this borscht? Code for drugs? Boo. Remember, Leo, Everart's shoes. All items on the list have been drawn slightly. The front of this quarterly journal features a large satirical portrait of the late King Friesel. From the sides of his head, a pair of... because Friesel was incompetent, foolish, and cruel. In short, the embodiment. To your disappointment, there aren't any full-color pictures to direct your attention. Just column after rifling the pages with your thumb several times. The magazine is divided into several sections. International developments, Kunst und Kultur, and local concerns. Just inside the cover, there's also an editor's note. Unsurprisingly, much of this section is taken up with articles declaring you skim the headlines. Paint the harbor red and white. Finally, there's a brief article by the writer, G. Martin, accusing the owner of the Cape Side apartments of illegally attempting to evict certain communist tenants simply for not having paid their rent. According to these editorials, there can be no accommodation with the forces of international capital. Why do communists love puerile insults? And they wonder why they're always being left out. Judging from the context, it's something very large and fundamental. You should probably flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds. This section includes a long, tedious critique of the latest round of free. You also skip over an article about heavy fuel oil smuggling. Face it, you really aren't interested. You flip back to the front. Comrade, as you know, this journal takes its name from Mazov's immortal... But, like the structures of capitalist ideology, we too are at risk of going à la fumée. So please, if you value our radical Mazovian perspective on contemporary politics, culture, and international affairs, please consider subscribing today. Yours in struggle, the editors.
What do you expect? It was laying around the office of the debardeur.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. It takes a moment, but gradually it dawns on you. As you leaf through this section, you come across several reviews of recent radio plays. The main feature, though, is a long essay titled Tip Top Tournée, a critical Mazovian perspective. This so-called artist spotlight is really just a brief that certainly sounds like a certain delinquent youth who likes to harass you from her balcony. The actual article is surprisingly light on details, but after skimming a page or two, you gather that it has something to do with motor carriage racing. You think you're settling in for a relaxing recap of the most recent. Instead, you find yourself skimming a 10,000-word feature about all the Where to even start? For one, there's the crass commercialism of its sponsorships, and then there's the practically criminal emphasis on deadly motor crashes. Oddly enough, this article has 2 bylines. Nasdaq and Collada. Under capitalism, the article says, every pursuit has its price. Every pleasure, even thus, the so-called tournée becomes a competition between increasingly meaningless brand signifiers. Your discount laundry, and that precisely is what's problematic. At the end of the day, it's the destruction of these 750,000 real races that you're really watching for. Sure, you think that, but subconsciously, this flimsy magazine is right. Deep down, you know the only true stakes are. That's because you haven't been reading critically. But don't worry. The whole point of these sorts of articles is to let someone else read critically for you.
Come on. Can this article read your mind? Well, there you have it. If I had to wager, I'd say they've never even seen the inside of a motor, much less a motor race. I take...
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The tape... The tarpaulin cloak is still, as your fingers touch the tarpaulin, it almost feels I will shield you from the elements and give my life for you. All those empty wine bottles and cigarette butts on the ground. Someone partied really, really hard here.
Well, yes, I think we can say with relative confidence that it was you. Yes, this scene isn't exactly ripping with joy.
This is the night watchman's booth. The name on the door reads, René Arnaud.
If you must. But please hurry, we are pretty easy to spot up here.
Nothing incriminating catches your eye. The cabinets are clean and their sparse contents meticulously organized. There's a frame. It's a black and white photo of a young couple out in a street fair. The man, René, is dressed in a royal... René looks like he's about to smile. This photo must be...
Why did you take that picture of René? Of course you are. What murder investigation would be complete without an arbitrary photo?
control panel with several knobs. 2 buttons marked Marche and Arrête are faded with
Container, I'll turn you nice and red. Container, used to be Wild Pines. Container, now belongs to Everard. Everard, he looks after everyone.
The look in his deep blue eyes is as sincere as you've ever seen. Kind of makes you feel like an art.
I see you are not a union man, mister. Did you get lost? You're not one of them scabs, are you? I mean, I don't personally mind. Folks is just folks, you know, and folks gotta eat. Just some of the other guys don't look too kindly on the scabbing kind, if you know what I mean, mister. Oh, I'm just making some covers for them containers here. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So it's easier for the crane operators to spot them.
Everything is so pretty and red. You and Leo look like brothers as you glance around with similar childlike wonder.
Sure is, mister.
I hate to break this bonding moment, but the red containers mean they are replacing the company livery with the union livery, which means this strike isn't gonna stop anytime soon.
Oh, most of the guys are down at the gates, keeping the scabs from coming in. We're on a strike. The whole union is. You don't have to work when you're on strike. Ha!
So no one is working?
Not everyone is down there, of course. Mr. Evrard is in his office, where he always is. And Jean-Luc is guarding the... But Titus and his boys got into some drunken trouble and Evrard sent them on a nice vacation. For a week or so. Oh, I'm not really supposed to talk about that. That's union business. Him and his boys stirred up something in town. Probably drank too much and got into a fight or something. I heard Mr. Everett telling him to take some time off.
Don't go all bad cop on this simple, friendly fellow.
I guess the boys got a bit too rowdy and had to let out some steam. I don't really know the details. That's just how boys are, you know.
Easy, Leo. Let's keep this on the hard ease.
I remember I was the runt of the class. The bigger boys always used to pick on me. You see, I had a bit of a temper back in the day, but Mr. Everett and his brother always came to help. Once they beat old Noel Becker so bad he needed stitches on his head. Noel never started another fight with Mr. Everett, and Mr. Edgar are real nice guys, mister. You should go talk to Mr. Everett. I'm sure you'll be good friends. He's friends with every...
You're never getting anything useful out of him. It's good enough you found out Everard has a brother called Edgar, and he helped Leo.
Yes, yes. Everybody needs a job, and this is mine. I'm Leonard, by the way. Leonard Bellick. But I'm like Mr. Everett's right-hand man when Mr. Edgar is out of town. And Mr. Edgar's right-hand man when... Actually, Miss Beaufort is the right-hand man, but she's a lady.
Who is this, Miss Beaufort?
A real pretty lady with a skin like those Douai Sucre candy bars my missus likes so much. Them are real nice to suckle on once the dinner is done and me and the missus sit down besides the radio. But I can't listen to the radio all the time. There's so much to do around here and I'm always busy keeping things running.
Stay on this Miss Beaufort topic.
Oh, Lizzie, she is a real sharp tool. Mr. Everett put her through some fancy school and everything, east of the river. 4 years she was gone, and when she came back, she was all fancy and look. But she's a real nice girl. Grew up in this here neighborhood, knows everybody and gets along with everyone.
For a fraction of a second, there's sadness in it.
If me missus and me was to have a child, I'd be real happy if she turned out like her. But she can't have kids. Dr. Lemaitre said so, and she knows about such things. Been a doctor for almost 50 years, she has.
Yes, this place really seems to run like clockwork. Keep it up, Leo.
Well, thanks a lot. Coming from you, it means a lot, really. Sometimes I feel some of the guys don't really get how much I bust my ass for them.
The white rectangle on your clothes might not mean an awful lot in Martinez, but the recognition from an authority figure made Leo's day.
Oh, that one. That should be empty as far as I know. Lots of containers here have nothing in them. They're just waiting to be loaded. Oh, you want Mr. Everett then? He's an awfully nice fellow, he is. Him and his brother are both nice fellows. They've lived their entire lives in this here neighborhood. Guys like Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar, his brother, are real good guys. Made Martinez what it is today. Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar and I went to the same school, we did.
Patience. Deep down you have the mental power to keep listening. Not many would, but you do.
Had an arithmetics teacher, Miss Bellows. All the boys liked her, if you know what I mean, mister. We used to sneak in her yard in the dark and peek through the window. One time we saw Miss Bellows with a fellow. Yes, we did, mister. Yes, we did, mister. Indeed we did. Him was a big fellow. Used to drive the troika near RUS's school and everything. Them was all naked too. That's all I got to say about that. Thank you. Almost forgot. Mr. Everett is in that container over there. I got distracted telling the... Oh, yes. I leave all kinds of notes for myself. That old head of mine ain't so good at keeping things in no more. Oh yes, I've been taking special whirling borscht to the men every day since the strike started. It's very good. Makes a man feel so warm and happy. I feel like I could take on Mr. Renadan's boar dogs every time the lunch is done.
Power borscht, huh? Never heard of a borscht that turns little guys into dogfighters. Alcohol, however.
Yes. I'm taking it to them. The borscht keeps them happy and in fighting spirits. Makes you all warm inside. They brew it in the whirling in rags. Oh, the whirling's cook. He makes it. Them is always talking with Mr. Manana in that weird language and laughing together. He doesn't speak what we speak. He's from Grad. Oh, sure, mister. Sure. You do that. Yes, sir. Bye-bye now. Oh, hey, mister. I knew you'd be back to talk with old Leo here. Yes, I did. It's like Lady Larice said when she opened a bathhouse in the basement of my apartment building. They can only get so far before... Sure, mister. Absolutely. I'm always willing to help out nice fellows such... Oh, hey, mister.
Before you is a walrus of a man, seated behind a large desk. He looks up from his work, not the least bit surprised to see you. With great effort, he straightens himself up in his chair. A typical power play. Wait for him to speak first. Show him you've got a backbone. The one good eye of this man fills you up without even flickering. The other, his lazy eye, is constantly moving like a goldfish in a tank, grotesquely magnified by his +6 glasses. For a moment, you don't know where to look. It is unbearably humid in the trailer. Beads of sweat slide down the man's forehead. At first, nothing happens. His face wears a wide and like a general over his maps. He plots his moves. Judging by the way he's licking his chops, it's going to be a good...
So... Mr. Dubois, Mr. Kitsuragi, how nice that you found a moment to pay a visit to the Debardairs Union. I'm Everard Clare. Please, have a seat.
The folding chair looks like a torture device. Extremely uncomfortable.
You go ahead, detective.
Whatever he has in store for you, it can't be good, he thinks. Forget about that. What's with this Dubois stuff? You're getting some seriously bad vibes from that name.
Please, Mr. Dubois, let us converse in a civilized manner, as equals.
He's trying to throw you off your game with this Dubois nonsense. Don't give him the pleasure.
Very well, Mr. Dubois. I respect a man with strong convictions. I, too, have convictions. One of which is that I will not engage with any man who won't... Should you find yourself more amenable in the future, I'd gladly resume our conversation. But until then, I'm afraid I must ask you to leave.
Don't give up, but don't leave either. You're going to have this conversation on your terms. You just need to remain headstrong. Everard starts whistling a little worker song. He really is trying to ignore you. The lieutenant stands right next to you, not showing any...
I see you are an extremely stubborn man, Mr. Dubois. That ain't necessarily a bad thing.
You did it. This might help against whatever comes...
So tell me, how can the head of the Debardairs Union... Oh, by the way, I heard you got a rather rude reception from a certain Lawrence Gart. Some people have known... This should take care of that nonsense. It should be sufficient to cover your expenses for a few days and patch over your differences with a cafeteria manager. Go ahead.
Hey, that's 25 real. That's good money. Think of owe him for? This is a trap.
Yes, I know Lawrence. He's a real character. No union man in him. A real piece of work, that boy is. Okay, okay. I respect a man with principles. No handouts, then. Now, I'd like to set your mind at ease about one other matter. Your lost gun. Let me assure you...
His slug-like lips move, but all you hear is an echo. Lost gun, lost gun. The world is swallowed by a black hole of fear. Only 2 words escape its gravitational pull. Lost. Oh God. Why didn't you think of this before? Cops have guns. Where's yours? Fuck love. This is your gun. This is...
Are you all right, Harry? You seem anxious. It's not like you left it loaded. You didn't lose a loaded gun. Local children aren't out there playing with it right now, pointing it into their own mouths. It's in a safe place. I just know it. I have a feeling everything's going...
Officer, we will deal with this later.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
God, you're sweating. Your knee is jerking. You're about to cry, aren't you? You're about to cry because you lost your gun and those children are gonna shoot themselves with it. You want to cry? God, you're weak. Whatever you do...
Mr. Dubois, you...
What is this, Mr. Dubois? He keeps repeating. What is he trying to pull here? You need to...
Mr. Dubois! Mr. Dubois! Harry!
While Everard is distracted by your odd behavior, the lieutenant's eyes are mapping everything around you. The folder...
Mr. Dubois, are you okay? Can I get you a glass of water?
Maybe you could use your hands somehow, in a kind of throw-in motion, like you're throwing that Mr. Dubois act right back at him. He's Mr. Dubois.
What an odd demonstration of... you got me, Harry. I don't even know what. As entertaining as it was, I'm afraid we're wasting our time.
Okay, enough. We are here to ask you some questions pertaining to a murder investigation.
Quick, here's your window. Get yourself together and ask him questions. Police officer... It is about time to stop embarrassing yourself. Questions will help you regain some of your lost dignity.
Oh, of course. That's your main thing here. That's why you're in Martinez. I mean, it's no secret that the lynching is connected to the strike. So much to talk about. Honestly, it's been weighing on me so heavily. I understand you need to interview me. But there's a thing that's been keeping me up at night. I want to talk about the hanging. I mean, if we could just calmly talk, exchange information, we could...
Yes, that sounds good. Let's do that.
But I can't think straight with this thing weighing on me. You're police officers, aren't you? I have a crazy idea. You guys are basically door-opening machines, incredibly talented at opening doors. And I'm sure you're going to open this one with flying colors, Harry. This really is...
Does this jiggling ooze think he's going to use you? He's got another thing coming. Play his game, son, with your eyes peeled. He's going to slip up, and when he does, you're going to come out on top.
Oh, no one's. It's just a weasel. A weasel lives there. Nothing for you to worry about. A loud blabbering weasel. When weasels feel no one is watching, they start acting foolishly. Just go there, unlock the door, and leave it open. It's been such a burden on me, Harry. I just want this to be over so I can discuss business with you. Harry, my dear friend, I am what people call a local bigwig. I know everything that goes on in Martinez. Harry, I'm a very busy man, and more importantly, I don't have that extraordinary physique you do. You look like you could run around all day.
You want to send someone a message that the police are working...
I repeat, I'm a very, very busy man, Mr. Kitsuragi, and therefore I must occasionally enlist outside help. So what will it be, Harry? Fantastic, my friend. Just let me know when it's done and you can get the key from Manana. He's down by the gates. Manana's like a free agent in the Union. Special operations. Hardened socialist. A real free thinker too. He'll tell you precisely where the door is. One last thing, Harry. Just open the door. You don't need to go in or anything. I just want that weasel to come home and see the unlocked door. Yes, your lost gun. My best men are on it. They're turning every stone, searching every playground, asking kids, grandmas, Your gun will be found, Harry. Let me assure you of that. It's just a matter...
The only way to find it seems to be working with him. He might even be holding your gun hostage. Who knows? Only one thing is certain. If you work with him, you're going to get it back. And working with him might be the only way to do it.
Damn it, Harry. That's exactly what it means. I'm only kidding, of course.
He is not.
Of course. I understand. We help you, you help us.
Oh, that's very nice. I haven't gotten around to her yet. I'm very, very busy, you see. One thing I want to make very clear, Harry, is that this is not some kind of union versus corporation. We're all trying to do what's best for Martinez. Don't feel like you can't cooperate with her because you and I are such good friends and I'm helping you find your lost gun. I'm not a jealous guy.
Whoa, that's so nice of him. Suspiciously nice.
I'm just a nice guy, Harry. I wouldn't be where I am now if I wasn't nice. Politics is all about emotions, and I want you to have positive emotions.
Okay then, positive emotions it is. You like positive emotions.
What do you mean, Harry? Nothing. I let him go. He's an old man, Harry. I wanted him to spend more time with his family. God knows how long he's got left. Harry, I have little people in my organization. I would never call... Honestly, I'm beginning to think you're a midget, Harry. I'm only kidding, Harry. You're not a midget. No...
It's hard to say if he really lost his temper, or if this is another one of his tricks. This man almost never angers.
Vanished? Harry, the woman left her casserole in the oven and couldn't make it here in time for the voting. Oh, did I leave my casserole on? Better go home and check. The election can wait. When she got back, the whole thing was over. Yes, yes. Low balling, of course. This isn't a casino, Harry. Real people, real livelihoods are at stake here. But everything's a casino for those rich types.
His expression makes it clear. This is childish and irresponsible behavior.
If she actually wants to see me, she will find a way. Any good negotiator would.
He doesn't want to see her. It's as simple as that.
Of course, Harry. Let me just assure you one more time. It's perfectly okay to share. I have no interest in what she is doing, but I myself have nothing to hide. Your business is your business, and I respect your... Tell her about all of it. My brother's picture, my singing swordfish clock. Tell her how overweight I am and how I'm helping you find your lost gun. Tell her...
This is weird. Not nice weird, but okay.
Am I going to ask? Hell, Harry. You spin-kicked my strongest man in the face. Would you ask a man like that how he got into your container yard? It was a figure of speech, Harry. Of course I don't have a... Anyway, I assure you, I am a very well-informed man. Information reaches me before I even get the chance to request it.
You might have noticed there's one hanging on a tree behind the hostel cafeteria.
Oh my. Don't take this question personally, but why would I...
Mr. Clare, the man was hanged with a cargo belt. A steel-reinforced cargo belt. It's safe to assume. Besides, getting the body down would benefit all of us. It's a stain on the neighborhood.
I can certainly see how having him up there might start affecting some real estate values. But of course, all joking aside, I am going to help you. Jean-Luc, the cop who bested you in physical combat is here, and he has a little dead body in a tree problem. Namely, he needs it to be taken down. You can find Luke down at the gates, but you already knew that. Anyway, he's going to help you, now that he's back on his feet. I don't know what that means, Harry. Shady brew? There are so many You know what? Don't even tell me. Whatever it is, do it. Surprise me. Just one thing. If you can, what? Harry, how could you say that to me? You know I appreciate a joke as much as any Johnny Fat Guy, but I can't take slander. Are you actually investigating this? You've hurt me, Harry. Me, a friend. But you know what? I trust you, like I trust all my friends. And I know you'll never talk to me about this again, because you don't want to wound me.
Thank you for your understanding. We will continue to do what...
You too, Lieutenant. You know, I like you.
None taken. Did we have anything else to do here, Harry?
Of course. Let us dispatch with the formalities. You...
That's what the hanged corpse called you. Harry.
My God, so it's true. I didn't want to believe it, but you are a fantastic science fiction
I think the odds of that are very low.
So good to hear that, Harry. Apparently my sources were wrong. However, if you did have a spot of memory trouble, I could help you out. With my big fat folder.
Are you trying to tell me you've gotten hold of some of our documents?
Mr. Kitsuragi, would you mind? Me and Harry are talking about his lost identity right now. Well, Harry, if I were to sum you up in one word, it would be apologetic. Yes, you seem to be, a lot of the time, but right now there's no reason to be. Let loose a little. Be you. Ah, this? My friends in your
I find that very suspicious.
I'm afraid this is meant for union eyes only, Mr. Kitsuragi. I'm sure you understand. Please continue, Harry. Family? Harry, you're not a family man. There's not one peep of family in here. Unless you think you're a family man, do you strike yourself as a family man, Harry? That's why I like you, Harry. A good man knows both his strengths and his weaknesses, and you, my friend, you are one of the all-time great. It's Harry. Harry Dubois.
You feel like a Dubois, but you don't feel like a Harry. Strange.
And I can work with you, Harry. Now, what else can I do for you? Of course, Harry, of course. Let's not linger on personal details and let's hear it, Harry. Of course, Harry, of course. Let's not linger on Great! You absolutely, Harry. Wait. You need this to get in and out through the gate. Here, you're one of us now. A real red and white Union man. Take care, Harry. Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always.
I bet he's still fuming internally due to your no-sitting escapades. He doesn't like to lose a battle.
See you soon.
Hey, mister, I'm not gonna
rusting control. With a loud grind, the crane shifts overhead, moving a massive metal container through the air. With a surprisingly quiet thunk, this crane was built with a purpose, which has now been fulfilled. To move this, who can say? All you know is...
I can't see how that was worth the ruckus, except for seeing the crane in action, which I admit was satisfying.
No screech of metal when you push the button this time, only silence. As the crane remains, the crane does not return to it. Before you stands a cargo container, just one of many in the yard.
Is this like your thing with that wall again? You do? Because I don't. There are a million containers here. Why are you fixating on this one? There may very well be, but we are not here to look for that. We are not here to interact with containers. We are here to talk to the Union, right?
No reply. You attempt to turn the handle, to no avail. To your left, the lieutenant considers your actions with some puzzlement.
Do not presume this has drastically altered our race dynamique. True, I said nothing about our personal dynamic.
He means very little.
So it was. You bested me in race combat to reach my superior, then had him give me an order.
You're so noble, Measurehead.
But while I am gone, someone must stand guard on the bridge.
That would mean you're openly showing the people that you're taking the Union's side.
This is the uncomfortable result of not taking it down ourselves. I can live with a compromise.
Listen to your little friend. He is wise in his childlike way. His mysterious race may yet prove fierce competition to my heroic haplogroup. Fine. Goodbye. Return to your degeneracy.
So, how'd you like our harbor? It's but a rest area on the path leading across open plains. Right. You talk to the boss, eye to eye. like men of the plain. If you have any more questions, I'm set to talk. The mercenary, eh? Who could have killed him? That's indeed the question. Why even do such a thing? What a thought! Why would noble workers resort to such a thing? Unless they were pushed. Your dead guy was an enemy combatant. He was an agent of the opposition, attempting to undermine our honorable efforts. I ain't the murdering type, but that's just me. Large organizations like our union have all sorts of men. With all...
He means a more violent faction could easily take care of such a thing.
Understood. This has been of limited use.
No problem. I wish the best to... A key, huh? What door is this key supposed to open? Of course, I got you. You don't know any... I got that key right here. And let me tell you, it's mighty good of you to help us out during the strike. Working class solidarity, as they say. Oh, so the none of the above type are you? I get it, I get it. I like to keep my distance too. But it doesn't matter. What you're looking for is a basement door behind the greenhouse. That's behind the whirling in rags. That's all I know. Our organization is what you call compartmentalized.
Okay, but where did you get the key?
The janitor gave it to me. Nice fella. We talked about life and things that really, truly matter. None of this mess we're in. This jiving and juggling. What's it for? To feed our children, I guess. I'm more of a philosophical dock worker. I like to talk about the big picture stuff. Who I am, who you are, what we are fighting for.
Who he is, and what they're fighting for? This is interesting.
We're negotiating our share. Aye. All of it. However, right now we want all the harbor workers to be on the company's board, so they could take part in the decision-making process. I think it's best you make up your own mind now that you've met him. In my eyes, he is a capable organizer and a decent businessman. I guess you kind of get to be the village chief. He oversees the harbor, makes deals with the owners or other relevant parties, watches out for his own.
By that, you mean corruption?
By heavens, why would he not be corrupt? We live in a harsh and disordered world, see? The old man is corrupt for our benefit, and we know it. Appreciate it even. He is, personally, not too lavish. He is reasonably lavish, sure. That's his prerogative. It's not like you want a saintly demeanor on a corrupt motherfucker. That would be a manipulative illusion. Besides, there are no non-corrupt systems in the world anyway. And moralism is the most corrupt of them all.
Not you would like to say. But then there's that weasel door.
No. I don't think I'm a communist. Seeing something of value and saying I want it all to myself is a much older and simpler notion. No science to it at all. Even a weak child can think it. The only things holding someone back are I can't and I shouldn't. Then how can anything ever be mine? But that's okay. We don't have to agree. The prairie is wide enough for all of us. Sure, I've had the necessary free time. Fortunately, there's always time.
The look in his brown eyes conjures up an understanding. For him, having command of his time is the man sits on the railing. What's this? We're getting reports of normal, reasonable, temperate, political opinions somewhere in Martinez. It's also about that, but it's also more. Perhaps it's the hangover. Perhaps it's time to become a citizen of the Kingdom of Conscience. It is not a place. It is a moment in time that can only arise in the right circumstances. In all of human history, it's only been achieved a handful of times. Incrementally. Yawn. You'd get there faster with a little speed. History's greatest catastrophes have been brought about by people trying to make the world a better place. That's the genius of Dolores Day. She recognized that progress is meaningless if its gains are lost because of instability. Real, lasting change can only come about gradually, increment by increment. Tisk tisk. Just because you live in the present doesn't mean you have the right to place your needs. You may never live to see the kingdom of conscience. Your children may not. Even your grandchildren. What a fucking joke. Do you believe the status quo is preferable to chaos and bloodshed? Then you've never lived through real. Sometimes, in the face of great disaster, defending the status quo is progress. The kingdom is difficult to comprehend, partly because humanity will need to discard many of the categories that define and limit it today. The kingdom of it's also post-industrial, post-ideological, and even post-sexual. Slow down, Mr. Reasonable. Did you miss the part about compromising and taking things slow? That's right. Remember, real democracy is just around the corner for Revachol. When that real democracy kicks in, a long time from now, we are all going to be so much happier.
Went native on the chief, huh? Those ballerina antics were reckless. Should have just punched him in the throat again.
Wrong. You did the right thing, Measurehead. The ballerina...
Let's talk about our right to work. Right to work!
What's it to you?
Big mess. Caused by union. We're all workers, right? Workers stick together. Worked at... Territorial. Bring a... Uh-huh.
Looking for something?
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and...
All right. Ready? I turn, you press start. It's next to the preheater.
He's downplaying his excitement. The lieutenant is more than happy to show off it. The dashboard lights up with orange glow. The raspberry gauge jumps, and the engine of the caprice canary comes to life with a whiny growl. The lights unfold with a little click, casting electrical light onto the ground before...
There you go. I'll turn them off from the remote once you're done. We just need to stand in front of the machine now.
As you hold your ledger's clip under the headlamp, a shimmering iridescent pattern...
There she is. Revachol West.
Around the borders of the watermark are dozens, no, hundreds of micro-perforations. The rectangular watermark is overlaid with the logo of the RCM, and yet the major arteries of Revachol are all recognizable.
Let me see. Right here. No, it does not.
There are many of them, and they are divided into 3 separate rows. The first row has 18 dots. The next is the longest. It runs all the way around. There are so many, it's hard to count. The last row has 3 per... That's it.
Those are perforations. They represent your record as an officer of the RCM. They are your statistics, as it were. I should have guessed you'd keep a record.
Son, here is where we score your life performance. You better hope it's good.
The first row represents your years of service. 18 years. Okay, not bad at all. What did you do before you volunteered? Maybe you were a diplomat, or in PR. Doesn't matter, I suppose. Let's move on, shall we? This next row, the one that wraps all the way around, is your number of closed cases. Closed is good. Wow, more than 200! It's quite a lot, even for someone who's been on the force for nearly 2 decades. Usually, clearing more than 10 cases a year puts you in the 90th percentile of all RCM officers. Right. Those are your confirmed kills. You've got precisely 3 perforations there.
That's right. A killer of humans.
For an RCM officer, especially Precinct 41, which is in the jam.
What's it feel like to kill a man, Mr. McCoy? A young woman asked the man across the desk from her. Honestly, babe, says John McCoy, crossing his ankles over said desk. I don't feel anything anymore. It's just like brushing my teeth. I do it once or twice a week and don't really think about it.
There are certain officers who treat their kills like some kind of ghoulish game. If they do happen to solve a case, it's usually by accident. But it seems as though you are, or at least were, one of the good ones.
He's sincerely glad you're not a scary predator. Not to say relieved you're competent.
Yes.
It's not a problem for him to state it, however.
Everyone has their own method of coping. Some more effective, or self-destructive. Personally, I find it helps to keep up a few hobbies. Par exemple, why not take up a sport? You've already got that fan gear.
It's meant in earnest. Please don't mistake it for a jab. The lieutenant nods.
Right. I'll go turn off the lights.
You can now see your statistics on your journal page, to the right of the task description.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox. As you tap on the gauge, the indicator pin jerks as if startled. It's in the...
Now, that's enough fun with the foldable headlights. I know they are mesmerizing. They're also fragile. I'm not going to turn it on for you again.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Just a moment, officer.
10-4, come in, officer. Over. Roger that. 10-10, over and out.
I've got nothing to say to you.
This is where you say your bit.
He's used to giving orders and having them obeyed immediately. You should not.
Detective.
Precinct 57's finest scans the room, leaving the speaking to you. He trusts you, maybe against his better judgment, but he does.
Hey, dipshit. You hard of hearing or something? The boss man's talking to you.
What, is he fucking kidding? This guy high or something?
Hey, asshole, up here.
We're looking for Titus Hardy.
Wow. The RCM sent us some big dick cops.
Real big dick cops. Look at them. Reckless. swinging in the wind.
Yeah, look at the big dick on that cop. Can't...
Must be something in the water in Jamrock.
Yeah, gave him real nice big...
Yeah.
You might want to start asking your questions now.
These guys are so macho, they're ready to confess to first-degree murder. Ask if it was them. Do a head count first. Connect these men to the tracks you saw in the yard. Chances are they're going to match. Starting from the right. Boot size 44. Blonde man, in his 30s. Overbearingly masculine. Sitting on his right. Standard working boots. Size 45 or across at the other table. Hobnailed working boots. Size 43. Gang tattoos. Mesk or Sarah Mauritian, in his late 30s, early 40s. And then, standard working boot. Steel reinforced toes. Size 46. The big dick. Wide at the shoulders. The emblem on his vest says Rowing Club. A little patch below in the far corner. Standard working boot. Steel reinforced toes. Size 44. 40-something. Non-alcoholic beverage on his neck. Forget it. Size 41. With the light step. Not a child, after all. An older man with a rat in the middle, heaving and wheezing. Big guy. Boot size 46. Deep marks. Probably carried the victim over. He, alone, is 130 kilo. In conclusion, these 7 are the actors on the crime scene. The footprints were theirs, but there's a discrepancy. Exactly. You've stood there for about 4 seconds, not saying...
The fuck is with you, fella? What are you talking about, madman? There's no 8th Hardy Boy this 7th. Or what? You want to be the 8th Hardy Boy? We ain't hiring.
Actually, boss, we've been talking and we think she could...
This person Glenn wants to hire, he really respects her.
Shut the fuck up, Glenn! I do the talking here.
So let me get this straight. There is an 8th Hardy Boy. It's a she and...
That's right. We're not talking about this. This is a private Hardy Boys matter. You're not cops here. Don't go digging around if you don't want a bullet in the back of your...
Good. We are all watching each other. Officer, your question.
There's no point in pushing it further, he thinks. This is already a victory. We'll learn more about this 8th Hardy soon.
So, you're not just here to swing your big dick. You're here for the pretty boy. A real...
They couldn't get him down, boss. He's still up there. Stink.
Funny. But my partner and I have a serious matter to discuss with you.
You mean these boots? We all got a pair. We wore them the night we took the pretty boy out back and hung him. But
as he speaks, his fists contract, going through the pulling motion.
Yeah, we did this. Together. All of us. Until he was dead. That's why I'm goddamn right.
No. These 7 honest men have equally come forth. They told you what happened, so that you don't waste any...
They're playing to their considerable strength in numbers. Don't talk about arresting them. You'll only bring attention to your inability to do so.
Why? 'Cause he was worthless mercenary scum. And he stepped out alive. So am I. Now, how about you get...
No, fuck him. Murder rage never came from nothing. Hit him with the question again. Why'd he fucking...
Why? 'Cause he was worthless mercenary. He stepped out a lot.
What kind of mercenary?
The kind that shows up when you start a strike. The experienced kind, too. Had cohort and...
A live grenade. Right here in our bar.
This one has a special gripe with him coming here.
I can't prove it, but I know he was sent by the Wild Pines. They hire merc shit like that. Story of every strike from here.
'Cause one night, he walked straight up to the mic and said, I'm R&E's goddamn special forces.
Really?
Yeah, really. Had a gin and tonic up there, sang some R&E's paratrooper song.
We couldn't believe it either, but he fucking did, right there. Like some kind of animal.
Wrong. He harassed women, raped one, harassed workers, threatened to kill some as a warning.
There's slight unease in him, suddenly. He regrets mentioning the rape.
To kill us all, if we don't open the gates, if we don't let the scabs in, if we don't bend over. That was before.
Yeah, he said it was his favorite joint now. Started coming here every night. Drinking, grabbing girls.
He grabbed someone?
Yeah. This girl's on the mic. A beautiful girl. Young. Gets into the second verse of Lover Lake. Show me your cunt. Why don't you show me your cunt? Then, he gets knocked on the head with a wine bottle. Doesn't even fall down.
Aren't you fucking listening? My man is talking to you.
Yeah, me and Eugene got a route. Aren't you fucking listening?
No. You're not getting a name. That's a Martinez matter. And I'm not...
There's nothing you can do for now. He's stonewalling you.
We hanged him up by his neck until he got real still. Was it?
Didn't they teach you anything at the cop school?
You're pretty sure you've had at least 2 years of cop school and many more of active. Certainly enough to not put up with this backsass. Deliver a knockdown observation.
Titus, you don't have to clarify.
We overpowered him. Dragged his unconscious body to the tree. Put a noose around his neck.
Then we left him for seagulls, maggots, and you fucks.
With numbers, asshole. How do you think? You're right, Lizzie. I've done enough explaining here.
No, he hasn't. Not yet.
Weren't you fucking listening? The fucker can't...
Titus lets the others clear out the details, so he doesn't get his hands muddy with explaining too much. Actually, they're admirably, surprisingly composed. The entire room. Given how many questions you've looked... Well, this one. But he's always fidgeting, so don't get your hopes up.
Like what, Copper? How many people have you sent to the Shays? Ever?
Or send them to Reunion to rot. For 20 years. For life.
But you see, a lawman, is something people agree upon. And here in Martinez, we agreed that this man had to die.
You don't have to answer any of his questions.
I know, Lizzie. Relax. We killed him last Sunday night. Seemed like a good way to end the week.
Known him? We don't...
Yeah!
Quiet. He came around about 3 weeks ago when that Pines cow first sailed into town. Happy?
By the Pines cow, you mean Joyce Messier? The representative for White Pines? The same company you're striking against?
No. I mean the Pines cow. The stupid-ass cow they sent in to fuck us over. But you know what? Why don't you ask her about the pretty boy? I'm sure she has interesting things to say when you ask her hard.
That's enough insinuation for today, Titus. Officer, your interview is drawing to an end. Don't waste your last questions. Are you deaf? There will be no singling anyone out. You can't arrest a hardy boy without... Do you think you could do that? Do you think you could arrest them all?
Titus, keep addressing him. He wants everyone to know he's in charge.
Who do you fucking think does?
He's so sure it's him. But it's not that simple. There's someone above him, or beside him, sharing the leadership. Hard to say who.
Titus, no one was thinking...
That's it. There's some kind of power issue they don't want to admit, and the missing Hardy is involved.
No. 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 Fuck no! The big dick is right here, asshole.
Disregard the outburst, officer. None of the boys have any comments on their power relations. That night, they acted as one. That's all. Nothing. Your investigation here is done.
I think we're going to stick around, thanks. Some things don't add up here. I've done this job for long enough to know that people don't just confess to first-degree murder. Even if it is a group responsibility. We're going to look into this.
Good luck with that. You've heard everything a rent-a-cop is gonna hear from us. Real law officials. You're lucky you didn't.
Rent-a-cop? So that's what this is about. He doesn't see you as his equals.
Again. Just get the dead guys out.
Good one, Titus.
About fucking time.
Establish authority. Yes. Authority. Feverish thoughts race through your mind. Did you already try the gun thing? I hear the gun thing is excellent and has great results.
Why?
This is not what he thinks it is. I'm afraid it's not what you think it is either.
What in the name of fuck are...
But I don't want to give you my gun.
The fuck is happening, Titus? What are they...
Easy, Shanks. I want to see where this is going.
Police job?
The pressure in the room grows.
Be careful, it's loaded.
Good. Now put it in your mouth. I want to point it at them. Which everyone knows how to do that. You're a special man. You're going to point.
What are you doing?
Genuine panic flies across the...
Fellas, you getting any of this? Fellas, the cop is really threatened.
No, that is not what is happening. This show is unnecessary. Give me my gun.
What in the name of mother...
The fuck is he...
Nothing. Give me the gun. Thank you. Nothing to worry about here, people. My partner likes to play these jokes. He's what you call dark.
He is infinitely grateful to have that gun.
Dark? What the fuck was that, you carnies? We haven't seen our...
I knew he wasn't gonna do it.
No. I still have my money on him. Sooner or later, he has that...
Do not think your failed suicide attempt will win you any pity.
Again, it was a dark joke. Maybe we should go for a little walk, Joker, before we continue.
Yes, get the serotonin running. Keeps those bad thoughts away.
I've got nothing to say to you. Why are you wasting your... I am not.
You could be Liz. You could be anything. You could even be a model.
Even a mod? Glenn, I went to law school. I am an...
He's right. With a face like that, she could be on the cover of Le Debutante International. The cold look in her eyes speaks louder than words. She is not amused.
What in the name of hell was that supposed to be? The theatrical suicide attempt. We need to talk about it. We do. I was able to recontextualize it as a dark joke. I will not be able to I understand you sometimes employ extreme interrogation tactics, but I want you to understand we can't have RCM officers going around putting guns in their mouths. We can't afford to have that image. Few institutions can. Yes, very, very, very wrong.
A thin man is smoking below an exhaust hood, occasionally sipping from his mug. As you step in, he nods toward the table and says something in a completely... It must be his name. Garanzi. Garanzi Quebec. Sounds representative. The man puts his cup down and replies something, his left hand drawing arcs in the air. He smiles and bangs his ladle against each of his pots in turn. The man says a couple of sentences in that strange language of his and then seems to wait for you to speak.
Horse need more vodka?
Okay, so it's vodka that keeps the men happy and in good spirits. Clever move.
Of course, vodka. Now that makes a very, very... Turning it up seems like a dangerous idea, honestly. The place is a powder keg. He smiles, nodding vigorously, then pours half a bottle of vodka into the pot. With a whistle, he stirs the brew. He looks up at you, then looks away quickly. Shrugging is an international sign for, no, I don't know what's behind that door. The mention of mañana gets his attention. He smiles and delivers, "They're friends?" He smiles and nods enthusiastically and chattering.
Vigilance officer? What can this old carabinier do for you? It's a Bell McGrave. 4.46 caliber. Breech loading. This one's inoperable. The bolt spring is missing and the mechanism is jammed shut. Still a beauty. Where did you find her? I'm not surprised. There are probably lots of forgotten wartime weapons lying around here. Back in the day, as for the rifle, I don't know what else to tell you. This BM-446 is...
Officer, the mere sight of police in my...
Everything's still cool here, officer. Me? It's a boring story, officer. Who cares about the past? I'm all business now. All revolution. Very cool. I like your style, officer. Only the coolest goods in Revachol. I've got sneakers, speakers, extremely comfy pants too. Try them on right here. No shame, only freedom. No need for discounts at ceilings, officer. Everything's already on sale. Anything you want. 50. I'm an entrepreneur, officer. Anything for you.
Anti-object task force. Behold, the anti-object task force has assembled. God's avenging angel, arrayed against the lower emanations of the darkened one. Shoe racks, tape recorders, motor carriages, and doors. So many doors. You're not just pounding it all to pieces. You're reforging the universe, from the anvil of the heavens to the worms below. Indulge in it. Be bold. There's a pile of cheap sunglasses in a small...
You like sunglasses, officer? I've got the latest styles right here.
Abort. These are hideous. What's more, they don't...
Damn, officer!
They're perfect for concealing your bloodshot and baggy eye.
No, you are definitely not buying those.
Are you sure? But they look so good on you.
These
are all first-rate sunglasses. Premium design, superb material, very cool. UV resistant. These were definitely...
No luck. All you find is this lime-colored cellophane visor.
Oh! That visor is perfect for you, officer. It'll definitely keep the sun out of your eyes while you're shooting criminals. Bang, bang! And all for a mere 6 real.
I hope not.
You don't like it? Sure, Square Joe. No problem.
There are clothes inside. Cheap second-hand.
Don't be shy. These are premium class.
You find your hat.
Economical, but also trendy. Look first-hand. Buy second-hand. Keep the economy moving.
Something cold grazes your hand. Synthetic and sleek. A windbreaker. Sir, this jacket is the apex of human evolution. Practical, and yet it may deaden your senses to the world around you. Possibly because of the awful...
Good choice, officer. Mega sporty. And it's only $4.50 for you, sir.
G'day to you, officers.
A rusting control panel. This panel usually closes the pull the lever all the way up until the metal clicks against. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. A spring brings the lever back. Wasn't there a sign over there saying functionality will be restored on Wednesday morning? A rusting this panel. Nothing happened. A spring bring. Wasn't there a.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything. Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question. I promptly sold her.
What? So the lieutenant shifts from one foot to another. Alert.
She didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which was odd. Truth be told, she was...
Right, so let me get this right. You sold your sidearm, issued by the citizens' militia, and now a civil...
Miraculously, his face does not reveal what's happening inside.
In that case, she'll be happy to get a visit from us, if we can find her.
Maybe. Shady-looking guys came in here yesterday, looking like they'd just taken off their Wild Pines overalls. They asked if I have a police weapon. They went their way. It was a trip, but you know, also...
Maybe Claire really is tracking down your gun.
My apologies, officer, but I have no idea.
A needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do about it right now. You'll just have to hope Everard wasn't lying, and the Union can track her down in...
You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. Said you were undeserving of a serve, and I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long.
He's not telling you the whole story. It seems he's trying to spare you.
You weren't quiet yourself, officer. You were very distraught. You said the gun was a threat to your life and that you can't trust. When I said that I don't normally buy firearms, you put the gun barrel in your mouth and sort of sucked on it.
You sucked on a gun? Good. Very normal.
It certainly does, especially in Rivershoal. You were at, and I don't...
He's not telling you the whole story.
You weren't. You were very... When I said...
You sucked on a gun?
15, right?
The lieutenant looks from you to Roy, and then back to you. This has got to be the most. There's pity there too, in case you didn't notice.
No apologies necessary, officer. Of course. Sure thing. Sure, man. The Coldima Madakwa. Sorry. I would never have guessed that you were that interested in ultrasonic sounds. Or birds, for that matter. That's fair. It's been a long time since my Coldima Madakwa hunting days. Once knew a group of young musicians who decided they didn't want... This was before, you know, lost touch with them after all of that. Cool or not, one of them was obsessed with recording the Coldima Madakwa. And he was one of those passionate people who know we thought we did. We got together all these recordings of unusual sound patterns, compared them. Unfortunately, I don't have any recordings from my old life. None at...
Do we really have time for this?
This recording comes from down the coast. Wasn't looking to record anything specific. Just left a recording device there one morning. Keep in mind, I have to slow this one down enough to make sounds well over 200 kilohertz.
As the hum grows louder, modulating but always unnaturally uncomfortably low, like it's coming, that's an illusion. Your breathing is just as it was, and there's a growing sense of dread. The sound is coming from inside you, but also surrounding you. It feels as though someone is standing. He nods to you, reassuringly, just as more diverse, higher-pitched sounds, some
gulls and skewers. But
a low range of sounds is easier to handle with a focal point, but still troubling. You are mesmerized by the sounds, but also feel nausea.
You know, now that I've listened to it on these new speakers, it's not the cold de Mamadakwa. Wrong patterns, wrong photons. Probably some insect trying to sing higher than its predator.
As you turn, a bright light catches your eye, making you squint. From a distant sunset, a stage light, flash photography, nowhere in particular. It's just what superstar law officers do. They squint at lights, and they solve shit. Yeah, you have. You're a big dick cop, Dick Mullen, Salam Rocky Baye, badass on-the-edge disco cop. Time to recede into a ludicrous fantasy world. Here we go. Camera, lights. With a sudden flash, the world freezes around you, and you along with it. In an iconic monochrome solution, a black silhouette against the rest. Called the Mamadakwa. It's not only your eardrums that register sound anymore. Your very skin has become an organ of hearing. Looking for a whisper light and low. A god who's very, very silent. Nothing escapes you. A cockroach in the other room. A candy wrapper falling on dry grass. A drunk falling from a chair in a bar 20 meters away. Wow, a very large red t-shirt with an impressive print stands out from the other garb. Oh yeah, the print depicts a muscled man striding toward you, a giant sword in each hand, encircled by burning embers. Behind him is a cluster of cabins engulfed in flames. Beneath him are the words, "Hyundai smells like worn cotton," and a little old worn cotton with a side of flea market or trash bin.
Sniffing is okay, but please don't try anything on. Can't have you leaving your...
You're not imagining it. Photon emissions? What is he talking about?
Hell yeah, man. I don't usually carry printed tees, but this one was just pure exemplar. I wouldn't go so far as to say that I'm a fan, but I do think that Yomdal... Most people don't think that the man from Yomdal really existed, but they're wrong. I mean, even if the man from Yomdal didn't exist before the adventure novels, the stories have made it so that he...
Okay.
You sound skeptical. It's not that complicated. Besides, I've been to Kotla, though not quite as far north as the Helmdal, and watched northern lights travel across the sky.
Very, very unique energies indeed. Gee, stop talking about this nerd stuff. It will make you weedy. Buy the damn shirt.
2 real.
That's dirt cheap.
But why? I suppose that makes sense, yes. Please go ahead and...
Can I help you? Thanks. I hope you found what you were looking for. How strange. I certainly didn't put them there. The trash collection service? CS Municipal. I don't see...
Ah, the elusive CS Municipal. I doubt we'll be able to track down who was sent here last and when. This will have to be one of those little threats.
On Clinton Street, near the Boogie Street Diamond, a small truck rattles down an alleyway. It stops by a rusted trash container. Two men, their faces rough.
Thank you anyway.
Sylvie had the keys before I got here, and I can vouch for her. I can vouch for all my staff. None of us would... I think fugue states are more your forte, officer. Yes?
You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush that covers the plaza mosaic. Hard to say. Cop habit. You look at everything. No, these tracks are not interesting at all. Let the streets...
Fuck does Kuno care? The fuck do you... Good call, Pigmite. Yeah? Yeah, whatever. The fuck about it? You're testing... Get lost! Kuno does...
This coin operates.
Hello again, officers.
This must be it. The basement door is weather-worn. The copper nails holding the upholstery in place have turned green from sea air. The royal lion, Guillaume's kitten. This knocker will last a lifetime and then some. The leather upholstery is worn and rough against your jaw. In fact, it's oddly silent in the... You knock silently. The upholstery muffles the sound.
I guess no one is in. Let's be honest. This isn't what I joined the RCM for. But every day, apparently, working with the local union boss to get info on an investigation is not something I'm squeamish about.
The lieutenant merely nods. You try to be as silent as you can. It takes a bit of... Finally, the door unlocks with a small click. The sound of the key turning still echoes in the yard. Hopefully no one heard. Well, buddy, you opened it. No need to go inside. Good job. Let's go now. Only curiosity could account for stepping over that threshold. Maybe there's treasure in there. As you hold the open door, you can feel the air moving. A row of mugs sits on the shelf. Each one depicts a human figure. A dark-skinned woman grinning amidst mysterious symbols. A broad-shouldered man shoveling potatoes, and others. A row of mugs, a little ring. Though cheerful, the images on the ceramic make you vaguely uncomfortable. The images betray a lack of interest in human beings. The owner of these mugs doesn't like people of other ethnicities very much. anytime. The lieutenant picks up one of the mugs, then puts it...
I'm beginning to feel better about breaking into this man's apartment.
Yes, your broken mug friend would feel very much at...
There's the missing tin soldier. Whoever lives here might have used the Whirling's container to dump his truck, and now they've drawn the ire of the Union.
Perhaps you should break into apartments more often.
Who knows? I'm not expecting too much from this clothes in the trash lead either way. It might turn out to be some random local matter, but still, a nice coincidence.
The spread pattern of these bullet holes makes your chest ache. Your breath grows heavier. You peer into the faded marks in the stone. They peer back like your chest feels tight looking at them. It's closing in, caving in, ever tighter. Your breathing grows even heavier.
You okay there? Might be the after effects of your past escapades. What are you looking at? Remnants from the revolution. These are over half a century old. Perhaps a crime of a sort ages ago, but no, these do not warrant an investigation. Not much. I don't have a fresh perspective on...
Looking for something to read. It is. I know you are. What with?
This citizen thinks she can do without your assistance. Don't help her by carrying things? Maybe she needs a weightlifter. Maybe she needs you to fight her husband. No. Her hands move over the book covers. The tips of her fingers look rough, stained with yellow. It seems like she has spent a lot of time at work.
My husband? No, he's not. I don't know. At home now? Out drinking?
Where is this going, officer?
Yes, but... I don't really need to know where my husband is. Not all the time. No. Why are we still talking about this?
She has the husband is totally lost. You should tell her.
What? Who said anything about shame? Stop talking down to me. My husband...
But he is. You can feel it. Or maybe it's something else then.
No, absolutely not. Are you a policeman or a nanny? They are not missing, sir.
You know where they are. They're at home, smoking. What if something horrible has happened? What if they're dead? That's the bad vibe you got before.
What? That's just... My daughters are perfectly fine. They're with their friends down in Jamrock.
She's getting upset. Her voice has risen as she tries to convince us.
They're almost grown up now anyway. They're past the age they need me protecting them from everything now. My youngest girl, Jolie, is just shy of 16. Jenny, she is turning 18 next month. Why do you need to know this? Haven't I repeatedly told you that they're not missing? That they're...
Did someone say party? You could use a party. Hunt it down.
There is no investigation here. I can tell you that. No, absolutely not. Are you a policeman or an... They are not missing, sir.
You know where they are. What if something horrible has happened? What if they're...
What? That...
She's getting upset.
They're almost grown up now anyway. They're past the age... My youngest girl, Jolie. Why do you need to know this?
Did someone say party?
A killer party? What is it with you and Pope Staples? My God. Please, I don't mean to disrespect, sir, but you are being a bit of a cockatoo.
For what it's worth, I agree. But cockatoos can't be stopped when they get ladies. It's...
I don't even have a cockatoo. And guess what? Even if I had, it wouldn't be missing. Great. Nothing. Go read up on them if you're so interested.
Maybe you should. What if the cockatoo is your astral captain? Or your heraldic bird?
Wonderful. The store is open.
The woman before...
You broke down the back door, the wards, the door. It's all gone now. Dark psychic energy leeching onto my shop. I suppose it's all over now. I guess there's no... just a door? This place is cursed, Detective. They don't call it the doomed commercial area for nothing. I hope you're happy now. Happy that you've ruined everything. Now that you've broken the door, the...
Host Almighty, she prays. Guard me and my honest business venture from the curse that lurks behind the door. Blessed be your name.
Of course you didn't. You're nothing but a policeman. All right. You know what? I'm willing to let you investigate the doomed commercial area. We are set on the path. There's little... But before we go on, tell me, did you encounter the malignant entity? You did? Then it has to be true. I've suspected that this woman-shaped energy must be connected to the curse ever since I first saw her. Did you see that she lives inside the chimney? Yes, I've heard that. It's enormous. She has some unnatural magic, I assume. You should go find the entity and ask what happened to all the companies in the building. And
if you're really interested in cracking this mystery, then we should go back to the furnace. Maybe you could yell into it or something.
Despite his cool, the lieutenant's interested in solving this mystery, too.
a book about cockatoos? There should be one upstairs, right next to the shelf of biographies. Okay, but please, only a few questions. The curse is so much worse than you could imagine. It's a disease, eating at the very foundation. It's the curse of financial distress, of ruin.
Didn't that curtain just move?
It's not just that, officer. We're dealing with something supernatural here. Is there something wrong with this building? I can tell you. Ever since I arrived.
Sounds familiar.
Truly so? Perhaps the dark energies are leeching off you. You shouldn't stay in the store too long. It may be dangerous. It's not good to talk about the curse, not in detail. The negativism.
Such wraiths may prove a formidable enemy. Suit up.
Yes, I've contacted numerous parapsychologists, and even a pair of Simonese mediators. The wards help to keep the doom at bay and protect us against the darkness that lies further in the building. Even though now— Oh, this! No, it's a special Himian amulet, blessed by desert pygmy shamans, with a spell of— There are numerous spells cast throughout the store. I had the books anointed with a different inducement. Yes, the Simonese are very crafty, and their wards are extremely powerful.
The woman looks aloof, her features much softer. Occasionally she glances at her.
Hi, Ace Detective.
Shelves full of browsing through all the— Suddenly, high speed next to—
I really must insist you—
She understands.
I'm sorry, I did not mean to rush you. You are—
Shelves filled to the brim. A sulfur-crested cockatoo sits on the cover, its beak slightly open. It turns out that there are so many different cockatoo species, and they all have—
It's a must-have if you own a cockatoo. I've heard they're quite capricious. Oh, a nature enthusiast. Good choice. I knew—
A cockatoo is a parrot with an erectile crest, found on the Seminine Islands and in southern Fas a la Mer. Known for their intelligence and general precociousness, cockatoos are popular. This book talks about the delicate nature of toos, as well as introducing some of the most popular species among the bird enthusiasts. Where to even begin? All cockatoos are known for their needy natures, requiring attention for at least 2 full hours a day. They love to talk and have been described as lovable clowns who just don't know how to wrap up. Pet owners also report moodiness, loudness, and hostility as recurring issues. If left unsatisfied, cockatoos may scream non-stop, pluck their feathers. It is not recommended to get a cockatoo if you're not able to cook them food every day and give them the full care that they need. These birds will never understand that you have a life of your own. You're right. Cockatoos are magnificent creatures. They love to perform, cuddle, and show off, and will even scream for fun, often as loud as up to 100. Ouch. That must hurt. This is a yellow-tailed black cockatoo. Its specific name, Psittacus venereus, relates to its dark and somber plumage. This bird looks as if dressed for a funeral, 24/7. There is— Perhaps the most impressive of all the species, the endangered major majestic cockatoo, is often described as the most flamboyant bird in the words of poet-explorer Sir James Fournier. Few birds more enliven the monotonous hues of the verdant forest than this big, bold, and beautiful. It must be glorious to behold. Dark pink and— Despite its banging name, the Bang Bang cockatoo is actually the shyest of the species, common in almost all Simonese forests, as well as zoos and homes all over the world. Its plumage is mainly grey and white. The Simonese name Bang Bang is thought to be of onomatopoeic origins. Yes, but all those cockatoo species are so different. Which one are you? You're right. You're Cetarchus venereus embodied. This ominous bird belongs on your heraldry. Kingdom of Conscience. The Kingdom of Conscience will be exactly as it is now. Moralists don't really have beliefs. Sometimes they stumble on one, like on a child's toy left on the carpet. The toy must be put away immediately, and the child reprimanded. Centrism isn't change, not even incremental change. It is control over yourself and the world. Exercise it. Look up at the sky, at the dark shapes of the coalition airships hanging there. Ask yourself, is there something sinister in moralism? And then answer, no. God is in his heaven. Everything is normal on earth. The barbell waits patiently on the floor, like a dog for its master. Conjuring up an inhuman amount of strength, you raise the barbell up in the air. Your biceps tremble, but you're a savage. This is a children's game. A warm wave of accomplishment washes over your head as you drop the barbell to the floor. Hey, but you're still in a ghost house. What if someone heard?
Good technique.
No, it's not that. It's the stale smell of rubber. A memory from another life. When you were young and fit.
It's dark. And the flashlight works a lot better if you hold it in your hand. Yes, you might. Right.
Some area.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black. Something breaks loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes throughout.
Hello?
You've awakened the entity.
Hello? Did you say anything? I can't hear you. Please come upstairs. There's a safety...
You hear a low rumble upstairs.
After you, officer.
Hello, I'm Nia. Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Milius. So what kind of dye are you looking for?
Could this be the malicious entity? Perhaps it's wise to go along with this masquerade for now. She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching.
Yes, Amelia is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these. Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you. I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need.
As she speaks, her bone-like fingers fiddle with a ring. Her bones light, but her hands strong.
Answers? How strange. These days people only come to me for dice. I'm not sure how helpful I'll be, but go ahead and ask.
This person means you or no one else. Absolutely no harm. She will answer freely and honestly.
We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know. But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here.
Plaisance was right. There's an entity living in the chimney. You should ask her about. Does it mean she's unlawfully occupying a...
Creative.
How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dyes out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there. Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role players as customers.
She's thankful for the security they provide her.
More or less. Are you interested in anyone specific?
Rats scuttle in the dark rooms, under the abandoned blow dryers and dusty mannequins. Cobwebs cover rotors and radio computers alike. So much failure.
Fortress Accident, the radio game studio.
She liked them.
They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once, I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over weird. They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically lip. The usual. They ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time. Well, I did hear them talking at times. They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest. Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know, how the markets are rigged to keep out new businesses and so on. In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic. And
she's right. Showing up to work on time is important. Showing up to work on time is hard. No, scratch that. Showing up to work at all is difficult, especially if you've been drinking.
not the wisest decision. You would have lost all your savings.
The result is 1 on a 20. The dice is black and filled with little silvery flakes, like snow.
Anything else? Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working...
You wouldn't like it either. The others would laugh at you.
I guess it just wasn't the time yet. It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemitep's boxing club, a community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime. Kuno. Who's Kuno? Oh, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth? Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard. I think it would take more than a gym to help that kid. A kind man, from Zemsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why it didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamine.
You should have known it.
Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since. Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be a company that promised to repair Windows 20. Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff milias, and they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own. It's a sub-Rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders with real victims. Some people pay good money to get off on it.
What does she mean, to get off on it?
Don't worry, the ICP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed sub-Roses. This isn't our problem.
Good luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators. You mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs.
But what drugs exactly?
He got high on some weird taxidermy chemicals. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. Eventually, they caused him to lose control of his bladder. The smell was awful.
Even you can probably do better than that. You can almost see it. A small, sickly old man, hunched behind his work desk, his pants stained with old piss, stuffing a sad, stiff-legged raccoon dog. The entire scene looks tragic.
There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect rights activists came. Yeah, the atelier didn't know it either. They produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings. And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin supplier, which of course caused and, naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection. Actually, insects do have brains, but yes, I understand what you're saying. I think the protesters took it a little...
As she shifts around, you notice several dead flies on the windowsill in front of...
Anything else? They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on a vacation. Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula or Tiumotiri or Hashtkor or wherever he is. The usual, I imagine. That he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon as he returns.
Men like that are a curse.
Sure, but Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in... I have no idea why those skis and blades are still lying around in the house. Not much use now. Oh boy, the fabled Revachol ICT. You're in for a treat here. The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas. There was really just one. And it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth. And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing.
Sounds like she really didn't like those girls. Fritta does the same thing.
Employing silky teenage girls is a widespread practice, yes. Unfortunately, they always come in packs. I'm talking about acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the shop. At least that's what happened, and they already had the bear. The bear. Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, The fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and eventually Ravishore Ice City lost the price war to its rival, Class A 5000. Class A 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges. You did what? I can see. The taxidermist who made it said it was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. He called it Megatherion.
Scary, but cool.
Megatherion, a mega wild beast. It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life by telling you to do more drugs, mostly.
A wise and noble beast, guiding you toward the land where the streets are paved with drugs.
Very good. You shouldn't do them. You're a police officer after all. Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire.
The temperature has dropped in the cover of the night. You see frost on the windows.
Anything else? Another failed business? Oh, right. I hope you didn't try to ring me. I think none of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about the confusion. That's right. I haven't even written my name there. As I said, it's quite useless right now. It doesn't work yet. Sure, I'm listening. I'm pretty sure. Sure, I'm good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else? I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true. It's just capitalism. We only hear about tales of success, so it's often surprising to realize how many ventures actually fail. Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energy spared her somehow? Alright, but it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in racks? Some people say it's part of the building complex. And then there is me. I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea, yet somehow after—
It's because she's in cahoots with the demons.
I was just about to ask, what do you think? Do you think the curse is real?
The jig is up. The she-demon knows you've uncovered her true identity. Time has come to face the source. Fear not, for the forces of the universe are supporting you in this psychic quest.
So I'm the grand dragon in the cave. Might I ask what supports this claim? ethereal? Thank you, but I think it's just the lighting.
No, it's the troubled color of her energetic vibrations.
Of course you do. Show me a person in Martinez who doesn't have it. If you ever find a way to explain all those inconsistencies in the curse, then let me...
Plaisance needs to hear about this. Perhaps if you combine your psychic energies, you'll make... The bookstore closes starting 2100. You'll have to do that tomorrow.
Nothing really.
The lieutenant looks at his notebook.
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear any...
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window. It's an odd profession, making dice for people. Well, there's always something. During daytime, there are usually those kids.
She's not sorry to disappoint you. Informing on someone in a murder investigation would intrude upon her.
But I never saw anyone during that fateful sun. I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen. It's really hard to make anything.
She nods.
Anything else, officer? Of course. Tell me what you have in mind. No need to rush. Take a look around, see if any... I'm listening. Good. I hope it...